What's the one thing you look for when you do an investment with a startup? Is it the people or is it the product?
Product first, because you can have great people, but if it's not going to sell, it's not going to work. But, I look to see, is this something where I say to myself, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And then even if it's not quite that, I'm like, okay, if I'm looking to buy it or a typical consumer or company is looking to buy, is this something that's going to be compelling, differentiated, easy to buy? And if it passed those tests, then I look at the entrepreneur and say, okay, can these people do it?
How many people actually work for you in your organization?
Just in dealing with the Shark Tank and other deals, probably 12. That's all. Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
You have one, this is like a side note, Alyssa's cookies or oatmeal.
Alyssa's Healthy Cookies.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with those
So am I.
things.
I eat them every morning for breakfast. No exceptions.
They are delicious. You can't get them on the West Coast.
Yeah, you can. You can get them at Ralph's, I think.
No.
No?
Trust me. I've checked because I found them in Florida at the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And I became obsessed with them. And you can only get them at like Publix, Safeway. I on the website, it was a whole schmade. So I never ended up ordering them, but I called them a bunch. I was wondering when they're going to be here because they are so delicious.
Because one of my deal parts with Shark Tank is they got to have Alyssa's there during the day for me to munch on.
Well,
so they're here. So I'll find out for you. But you got to hear the story about this guy, Doug. Sent me an email saying basically he was living out of his car and broke. And he sent me samples of these cookies. And the first thing I always do when anybody sends me any food is I look at the nutritional information.
Yeah.
Because if it's all fat, sugar, or whatever, I'm not going to be interested.
Right.
So it's this huge cookie. And I turn it over. It's 190 calories for an enormous cookie. I'm like, that's not bad. Then I look, it's like no added sugar. I'm like, that's good. All this fiber. Huge amount of fiber, like a whole day's worth of fiber. And then protein. Yep. I'm like, okay, let's see how this thing tastes. So I break off a little piece. I'm like, this is good. I'm like, what's wrong with it? So then I go to pull the cookie out of the wrapper and it falls apart. And I'm like, that's the problem. Because when people go to buy a cookie, they want to eat a cookie, right? So I made them change it to Healthy Bites because the way their whole manufacturing process works, it's really easy to combine it with a little bit of moisture and put it together so it tastes moist, right? And they're just these little bites and they stay together. Put so 8 into a package. And with 8 of them, it's only 360 calories, right? So I eat, so 45 each. So I eat like all 8 of them for breakfast.
Oh, that's what I do too. Yeah. You can't just eat 4 or 2.
No. And it's only 360 calories for breakfast. And I'm getting my fiber. I'm getting, it's like eating healthy cereal, only it tastes better.
It's delicious. And you feel like you're actually giving, like you don't feel like you're depriving yourself with it. Yeah, like, that's what I felt like. I feel like, but this is like 2 years ago or 3 years with COVID. I can't remember. Everything like blends, but I haven't looked for the last probably a year. But I was like obsessive over them.
We got to find you where they are up here because I know they are, and I order them either from Amazon or from
Amazon, I guess I could do that too.
And from right from the website, Alyssa's Healthy Cookies website.
I should just do that too. Are they doing well?
Oh, Russian. So this guy went from living out of his car and helping him get started. I mean, I went to Central Market in Dallas and did one tasting thing. Yeah. And then it just blew up from there.
Really?
And that was more than 10 years ago. Now they'll do just under $20 million in revenue, but that's not even the good part. We spend no money on advertising, not a nickel.
Right.
Not a penny.
Yeah. Nobody knew what they were when I was telling them.
Yeah. But people go in there and buy them but people who buy them keep on buying them over and over and over again. And we'll make $10 million in profits.
That is amazing.
So this guy went from living out of his car to like being Mr. Badass down in Florida, making millions of dollars a year.
That's incredible. It's funny that you say that because it was for like Maxim Super Bowl party and the whole everybody who was doing it, everyone became obsessed with these things. And we would like clean the shelf of every single.
Yeah. I go in there and I buy like 6 at a time, 8 at a time, wherever I'm traveling.
Easily.
For sure. I mean, Alyssa's Healthy Cookies, and now we have a vegan version and we've got a chocolate version. Yeah. They're all really, really, really good. And like, if you got a little bit of time, you throw them in the microwave and they get really like smushy, soft. They're great. They're great. And they've got a little travel pack. So I take them in the row with me in my little computer bag and backpack. Yeah. So I can travel with them and I always have something healthy.
Okay, we got to find out about this West Coast thing because that doesn't make sense. You must, what's with you and oats though, with mush?
Mush,
And
yeah,
mush, I
yeah,
call it mush.
yeah,
I'm Canadian. Mush.
Yeah.
And you just love oats? Is that
No, it's not that at all. I like things that are tasty and healthy.
Yeah, it's true.
Ashley, the female entrepreneur behind it, is just insane. I mean, she's just
Amazing.
she's a force of nature. So when you get companies like that, and the entrepreneurs are amazing, and the product's amazing, and it's healthy, yeah, why not?
Totally. What's the one thing you look for when you do an investment with a startup? Is it the people or is it the product?
Product first, because you can have great people, but if it's not going to sell, it's not going to work. But I look to see, is this something where I say to myself, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And then even if it's not quite that, I'm like, okay, if I'm looking to buy it, or a typical consumer or company is looking to buy, is this something that's going to be compelling, differentiated, easy to buy? And if it passed those tests, then I look at the entrepreneur and say, okay, can these people do it?
Yeah. Well, what I find it interesting. I always stare at you when I watch the show because I feel like you're very decisive. And
that's not the answer I wanted after you said that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's okay.
Well, maybe I stare at you for other reasons too, but this is like a family show. But why is it that I feel like maybe it's just my opinion, but you're so decisive that you could either you like someone, I feel, or you don't like them. Pretty quickly.
Well, remember, there's a lot of editing that goes on.
I know, that's what I'm going to say. Is it just because of the editing?
Yeah, it's because of the editing,
Because
right?
how long is each pitch really in real life?
Stupid ones, 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Intense ones, 90 minutes to 2 hours. Medium ones, an hour.
Oh, so that's why, because they're so much longer.
Yeah, because it's our money, and we know nothing about them when they walk into the room. So
they're
we
not
have to
vetted at all.
They're vetted by producers, but not by us. So we know nothing about them. Here comes Jen. They'll say, "This is Jen," and that's it. So it
really is a surprise when people walk in.
Yeah, no idea whatsoever.
So then what happens? Then you guys do due diligence, right?
Yeah, after we say yes to a deal, we can do due diligence.
So what's the ratio, or how much with percentage of things that go through?
So early on for me, it was about 75%, but now we get more and more people who just come on for the commercial.
Yeah.
And so they'll say, "Oh, great, we got a deal," and then they'll ghost it.
They do.
They do, yeah.
Because I've had a few people come on here, or I've met in real life or whatever, and they said that they went on and it was not you actually, other people, other sharks
wouldn't close the deal.
Yeah. And it just
or try to change it.
It dragged on and dragged on.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah,
some of the other ones
you.
will do that, where they'll try to change the deal terms and this and that, and that's up to them, right? However they want to do it. But if I agree to it, I'll agree to it. But if you drag me out, then you're playing with fire.
Yeah.
Because either you want to do a deal and you agree to what you agree to or not.
Yeah. And who's your favorite shark besides,
I like Barbara to work with the best.
Yeah, I like her too.
Because we complement each other, because she looks at people first and I look at deal first, or product service first. And so we complement each other really well.
Right. So do you do most of the deals you do with her though?
If I can, yeah.
How about those other two? We'll move off of this, but I'm so fascinated by the show. How about the Mr. Wonderful? And
he's okay, but Kevin doesn't do a lot of deals.
Nothing. And he also wastes people's time. That's
that's a shtick, right?
Yeah.
And so, but he's a great guy. So
Is he?
Yeah, he's a really good guy. He's not like he is on TV.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's a really good guy.
The other one seems very nice, Rob.
Yeah, Robert's too nice,
Yeah.
But he's a good guy too. Lori does a good job. Lori is all about her wheelhouse, things that she can just plug in and sell, QVC or whatever. She's going to be great at.
Right. So then I want to ask you back, because when you were a kid, obviously you were selling the baseball cards and the garbage bags and stamps, everything for those basketball shoes that your dad didn't want to get you. You were like a born hustler. Mm-hmm. You just were.
Without question.
So were you like the guy, if I went to school with you, would I be like, oh, that guy's for sure going to be a billionaire. That guy's for sure going to be successful.
No. You probably didn't even know who I was. You'd be cute and I'd be the little fat guy with.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be the cute one back then either.
So, when I was 16, when I was 14, freshman in high school, I was playing baseball and I ran into a bicycle, and my parents, my dad did upholstery and cars, didn't have a whole lot. And rather than getting me caps, because I broke 2 teeth running into a bicycle, and rather than getting me caps that matched all my other teeth, they got me stainless steel caps so that, because they would last longer, they were cheaper.
No way.
And so every time I smiled, even in my high school graduation picture, there would be these 2 teeth at the bottom that were steel colored.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and if I showed you my 16-year-old picture, I was 5'8", 5'9", weigh 30 pounds more than I do now.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I see a picture? Do you have one?
Let me see.
That is, I would never have guessed it. Because you seem super...
Yeah, things change.
Yeah, no kidding. Things definitely, yes, $4.7 billion later, things definitely change. But like, you seemed very I don't know
That's
you.
a picture of me at 16.
Oh my God. No, it isn't.
Yep.
This does not even look like you. That's
me at 16.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. The teeth are gone. Like you got them fixed.
No. You just can't see it there.
No, I'm saying that right now the teeth are gone. You got them fixed after you kind of like got out of this whole phase. That's insane. So like you showing everybody, it's pretty amazing actually. I would never, but also
that's one handsome motherfucker.
I was going to say, the truth is like at the time, if you saw some pictures of me when I was 15, 16, it's mortifying. Exactly. Thank you. You don't be so, dramatic there. But like the point is that still, like you are not you seem to have like a confidence though, a self-confidence. Where did it come from to even do all these deals and wheeling and dealing?
I mean, there's two different things, right? Like being confident around girls when you're 16 and then being in business. Like in business, you can just do the work.
Right.
That's
your thing.
Yeah.
Do the work.
You do the work. So you pick whatever topic. And if I need to learn it for business for whatever reason, I can just spend the time.
Yeah.
And it's just up to me. It's like the saying, the one thing in life you can control is your effort.
Absolutely.
And so that's just my style. I mean, I learned early on that most people didn't.
Yeah.
And whether it's learning how to code, whether it's learning about business, whether reading this book or watching that video, you can figure shit out.
Yeah.
Most people don't do it. And so that's what gave me confidence because I knew I do the work. I'm prepared. And that set me apart always.
So you're just like, you love, I read this a bazillion times and I know if you've said this, like you just love to learn. You read a ton, like 4 hours a day.
Curiosity is one of the greatest business skills anybody can have.
Yeah.
And once you're curious and you find something that's interesting to you, particularly if it fits what you're trying to accomplish, then it's just a matter of taking the time to learn it.
Right. And were you always just very interested in like computers and
not
software?
Computers necessarily,
It's my software. What do you call it? Like just
all the above, right? Technology. And it wasn't until when I got to Dallas, I got a job working for a software store, and I had to learn it all right there and then on my own, and that's really what got me into it. I found out that because I didn't mind reading software manuals, hardware manuals, whatever.
Right.
That gave me an edge, and I could sell. So you combine the two together, and I taught myself how to program. And I did really well as a salesperson selling software until I got fired. And then I started my own company, and the rest is history.
Well, also like you're very self-reliant. Like you don't like mentors. You never had a mentor, right?
No, never. Nope.
What's your reason for do you because when people have asked you that before, you're like, no, I don't believe in them.
It's not that I don't believe in them, but to each their own, but it's just like you just going through the process of figuring things out is a skill.
Yeah.
Learning how to understand a market or a company or a product or service is a skill.
Right.
And, there really aren't shortcuts.
Right.
And I get, having a mentor to introduce you to people and all that kind of stuff. But, those same people will introduce you just as a referral if you have a great product or service and you're good at what you do.
Right.
And that's the way I always looked at it.
And what do you do? Because you're in the situation now where everybody wants you to be their mentor or something from you.
I get that all the time.
All the time, right?
I just say fuck off.
Did you say that? Does it work? Does it work? Because
especially the 16-year-old kids, right? Yeah,
exactly right.
No, I mean, it just depends on the circumstances. Like typically what I'll do is just say, okay, send me an email.
Yeah.
And if it's a question I can answer, I will. And as long as they don't ask me 50 questions, as long as they don't ask me things that are easily answered just by searching online,
right?
Then I'll try to help them. Because sometimes, it's crazy. Even like probably what I would have done, like 12, 13-year-old kids that'll email me with business questions, they'll it's very, you can tell it's very self-serving, or I'll get parents emailing me for their kids. And so
they do what they say.
It's just like, oh, my son or daughter is really interested in ABC. Can you answer these questions?
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to answer them for you. Now, if your son or daughter took the initiative, what's insane, not to go too far after, like now I'll get emails from parents of adults, 22, 24, 28 years old, asking for job advice for their kids I'm like, Hell no. You know,
Is that crazy? The
Yes.
coddle like culture we have now?
Yeah, I don't
like,
know if it's culture per se or just like these parents that are just like
a lot of them.
Yeah, helicopter parents to the 9,000th degree.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, no, you know, and I
How
just
are they
won't
getting your
respond.
information? Like, you're so accessible though. Like,
Yeah, my email's public.
like, so I was gonna say, how do you not have like, aren't you just inundated all day? I know you have 10 phones you carry around.
Well, no, I got
3.
2. Yeah, well, 3 I have, yeah. Just in case I need better service or I can be working on one and whatever, talking to them. But in any event, like, you know how you can just set up preview mode on your email? So I just read the preview. And if it's interesting, I read it. And if it's not, I hit the delete key. It takes me 2 seconds.
Wow. You must be doing that all day though.
Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm eating lunch or doing whatever, you know, and it's, you know, me time where I can just bang through them and there's always something interesting there. And I've literally gotten emails where I've invested probably over $100 million from people I don't know. And there's one company that I invested, I don't know how many millions now, and they're out here in LA and they're begging me to come visit because I've never met the guy, Relativity Space. And
that's what it's called?
Yeah, Relativity Space. They
What
do
do
3D printing for space rockets, for rockets.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's enormous. And, you know, I think their last valuation was $4 billion, which made my stuff worth like a whole lot of money.
No kidding.
Because it was just these guys from Dallas who were telling me about, you know, they want to use 3D printing to build rockets. I'm like, that's really cool. I asked them questions, did some homework. They answered all the questions great and everything. And so I gave them like $750,000 for 20% or 25% of the company. Now I've been diluted significantly since then because they've raised a bunch, and you know, even as I put in more, but yeah, it's worth, you know, enough to cover all my bad investments.
That is
and
amazing.
I've never met the guys.
And you never met them.
Yeah. With the Cost Plus Drugs, Dr. Ashmayansko, that was a cold email.
I was going to say, tell the story. That is crazy. The guy just called, like just emailed you.
Yeah, just emailed me. Guy named Dr. Ashmayanski, who is a radiologist, practicing radiologist, also has a PhD in math and statistics, also did 1 year of law school just for the fun of it. I mean, just insanely smart. Everything comes easy to him intellectually. And he sends me an email.
What was the subject line?
I don't even remember. But it was basically saying that he wanted to create a compounding pharmacy to make generic drugs that are often out of supply, right? And because they're out of supply, the people who make them can charge anything they want. Because if you happen to have that disease that needs it, you're going to do all you can to get it. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, but that's too short-sighted. We got to do it for all generics.
Right.
And so this was going on 4 years ago. We started what turned out to be a company called costplusdrugs.com. And I kind of massaged the whole business plan and invested. And basically, we have built this company. If you go to costplusdrugs.com, we tell you exactly what our cost is for any drug we sell. We just added 113 more today. So now we're closing in on 1,000 different SKUs.
Today alone? Because yesterday you added a bunch.
No, we reduced prices yesterday.
Oh, those are the, okay.
And added a bunch today. And so, you know, just the fact you're reducing prices on drugs at all is insane, right?
That's a real problem.
No, it's a huge problem, right? That's why we did this. And so now if you go to costplusdrugs.com and you put in a Monotub, which is for people with leukemia, as I found out, and you could see that our cost is $45 and we sell it for, or $48 and we sell it for $54, right? You'll see our cost, we add 15%, that's it. It's $3 for the pharmacy handling fee and $5 for shipping.
That's like a game changer.
It has been.
That is a disruptor.
It's changing a lot of things. You know, it's crazy. Some things that we didn't even expect to see. Somebody, because they see our costs, let alone our pricing, now they're able to back into a lot of the bidding that goes on for different insurance companies.
Yeah.
And somebody did some research that said if for just 77 of our drugs, buying at basic quantities, if Medicare bought from us instead of where they buy now, it would say $3.6 billion a year. And that's just 77 drugs. And, you know,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Now we've got more than 900. So you can see where it's going. But, you know, in this country in 2022, we should never be in a position where you have to choose between your rent, your food, and your medication.
Yeah.
And we've been able to change that. And, you know, thought we were going to primarily deal with people without insurance. But as it turns out, not only were people without insurance really benefiting and saving a ton of money, but people with insurance were more often than not cheaper than people's copays.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to you, because if copays alone are so high.
Yeah, so I mean, you might have a $25 copay.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're buying a drug that costs less than $25, you're saving money.
That is, well, actually, the other thing is like you have to hit a minimum. So
Yeah.
for me, I don't even bother. I have to just pay out of pocket until I hit a place where it's so expensive that like this, even like, it doesn't even matter where you are socioeconomically. It's so helpful.
Yeah. Yep. So you check us out, costplusdrugs.com. Just go in there, look for the medication or your parents or your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, whatever. And if we have it, we will save you money guaranteed.
That's amazing. So like even like something like a Good RX, right? That was that, you know, that crushed, and all these other ones are coming in.
GoodRx is great, but any of the coupon companies, what they do is they work within the system.
Right.
And so you'll see like the Walmart's 2 miles away is a different price than the Walmart's 1 mile away.
Right. And CVS can save you
different price.
$4.
And then if you go back 2 weeks later, it's a completely different price.
Yeah.
And so with ours, it's just the same price,
right?
No matter what. Now you can't just go pick it up because we mail it to you, right? But it'll show up in 3 to 7 days, and you can order as whatever quantity you want. And the bigger the quantity, as long as your doctor prescribes it, the lower the price you'll pay. So guys out there that want generic Cialis, I mean, it's like 18 cents a tablet, where it was, who knows how much otherwise.
So how are you guys, like, what's your projection? Like by next year, are you going to have how many drugs, and like what's available?
We
like,
hope to have over, close to 2,000 by year end. And, and there's other things like methotrexate, I forget which drug it is, that, is really, an issue right now because of Roe versus Wade being overturned.
Yes.
Birth control. So our pricing, both are generic. And so our pricing is so much lower, so people can buy, birth control far less expensively than they could before.
Right.
This drug that has a lot of different uses, but because one of them is for, could potentially cause a medical abortion. There's a lot of pharmacists who won't sell it now, particularly in southern states.
Oh, right.
So we'll sell all that stuff. As long as it's prescribable and we can carry it, we'll sell it.
That is incredible. And I went last night and I looked around. Like it's also very simple.
Yeah,
like
it's really
user friendly to do.
Yeah, just put it in. Yeah, so if you're buying birth control, you just put in whatever brand you use, and we'll show you the generic version, and you can buy it. What did I just say? I was talking to somebody. 3 count 48. For $25 or whatever, it's like just insanely low versus.
And also I saw there was a button there where it's like, well, if you don't have a drug, I can say, okay, I'm looking for.
Yeah, just sign up and tell us what drug you're looking for.
Yeah. And then what's the can you guys, like, if you get enough requests, are you guys
able? We try to. We're trying to add everything, but it's just good to know if we get a ton of people asking for one specific drug, then we'll prioritize that first.
Now, is that your major thing right now that you're super excited for? Yeah, that's like that you're super excited for.
That's game-changing type thing.
That is more than game-changing. Like, I mean, when I initially heard about it, I was like, I didn't even believe it because I thought it was too good to be true.
That's what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
They think it's, what's the catch?
Yeah.
We don't sell your information. You don't have to pay a monthly fee. None of that stuff.
It's amazing.
Don't need a card. It's just straight up, we take our cost plus 15%, and then we just hope we sell enough to cover all our costs.
And is it true that you guys now have already surpassed what you thought you were going to be?
Yeah, I mean, we're way past what we thought we'd be 2 years in.
That's amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible.
So no wonder you're like all in on that one.